Welcome to the deep dive. You send us your sources, and we extract the essential knowledge, serving it up in a way that's both insightful and efficient. Think of it as your shortcut to getting seriously well-informed. You've given us a really fascinating piece of material this time, the Allworth Fall 2011 catalog, and we're going to mine it for, those crucial strategies for thriving in the creative industries.
Exactly. And this catalog, well, it's kind of a treasure trove, isn't it?
Yeah.
Packed with resources aimed at equipping artists, designers, creatives of all stripes, really, with the tools they need.
Yeah.
Our goal today is to take all that information and just sort of synthesize it down into practical, actionable steps that you, the listener, can actually use.
And right away, the big theme that just jumped out at us from this catalog is unlock your edge. 7 keys to creative business brilliance.
Catchy title.
Yeah, it really is. It sparks curiosity, promises something valuable, and let's be honest, who doesn't love a good list of 7? So think of this as your guided tour to understanding what really, really matters for creative success based on this source.
Precisely. Within the catalog, we've basically identified 7 core areas that it emphasizes again and again. So get ready, because we're about to take a deep dive into each one, giving you a solid feel for the landscape of creative business.
Okay, so here's the plan, the breakdown of what we're going to explore together. First, unleash your identity, the power of 7 brands and marketing strategies. Second, design that sells, mastering 7 principles for impact.
Crucial.
Third, navigating the maze, those 7 business and legal essentials for creatives, often overlooked.
Definitely.
Fourth, launch your dream, 7 steps to creative career success.
Okay.
Fifth, crafting your magic, 7 skills to elevate your art, the core stuff.
The craft itself.
Sixth, behind the scenes, 7 technical theater secrets for stunning productions, surprisingly relevant beyond theater too.
Oh, absolutely.
And finally, number 7, secure your future, 7 steps to smart financial planning for creatives.
Super important.
All right, let's jump straight into that first key then. Unleashing your identity, the power of your brand, and, how you market it.
Yeah, so at its heart, this section of the catalog really underscores that in the, let's face it, competitive creative world, having a compelling brand and smart marketing,
Right.
well, they aren't just nice to haves.
Right.
They are the bedrock, the foundation you build on to get recognized and connect with the audience you actually want to reach.
Right. Let's think about what that actually does for you, practically speaking. Increased recognition is a big one. The catalog mentions Debbie Millman's work on brand redesigns. Her approach isn't just about, slapping on a new logo. It's way more strategic. It's about shaping how a brand is perceived, making it instantly recognizable. That kind of focus keeps you visible in what's often a really crowded market.
Totally.
Then there's stronger customer loyalty. When your brand tells a story that resonates, people develop trust, right? They become repeat clients or customers.
Yeah, they connect.
And ultimately, it gives you a real competitive edge. Effective marketing ensures that your unique thing, whatever it is, actually gets in front of the people who are going to value it most.
And it's fascinating to consider what happens when that foundation is weak or maybe just missing altogether.
Yeah.
The catalog suggests, well, a lack of differentiation is a big problem. You risk becoming just another option, easily overlooked, like trying to pick out one generic water bottle from hundreds on a shelf.
Exactly.
Then you face missed opportunities. I mean, even if your work is absolutely brilliant, if you're not marketing effectively, the very people who would love it might just never discover you.
So frustrating.
And finally, weak customer engagement. If your brand doesn't have a clear identity, a clear message, it just fails to truly connect with anyone. It falls flat.
So, okay, how do companies, let's say in the U.S., successfully tackle this? One key strategy seems to be really defining what makes them different, their unique value proposition.
Yes, absolutely.
The catalog mentions a photography business specializing in Elizabeth Etienne's vintage imagery. They found a specific niche and built their whole brand around that really distinct style.
Smart. Very smart.
Another strategy is targeted promotion. Think about book publishers. They don't just blast out ads everywhere hoping something sticks.
Yeah.
They strategically target relevant trade publications, professional organizations, places where they know the right readers are.
Much more efficient.
And then there's the absolutely crucial element of building a strong online presence. That's something emphasized heavily. It's not just about having a website anymore. It's about creating this cohesive online experience through design, engaging content, and, actual interaction.
Yeah, being present online. On the flip side, though, we often see competitors stumble in pretty predictable ways. Generic messaging is a super common pitfall.
Oh, yeah.
Like a book description that's so vague and bland,
Yeah.
it just doesn't excite anyone, doesn't grab you.
Right, tells you nothing.
Then there are those scattered marketing efforts where businesses just spread their resources too thin across way too many channels. They miss the focus needed to really reach their specific audience.
Wasted effort.
And in today's digital world, neglecting your online brand, well, that's just a major misstep. It's failing to capitalize on all those strategies we just talked about.
So for you, the listener, how can you take this first key and actually apply it? Well, maybe start by really digging deep. Define your core values, what truly makes your creative offering unique. What's your version of that vintage photo style?
Yeah, what's your thing?
Consider the advice about evaluating your artistic goals that feeds directly into your brand identity. Then craft a really clear and consistent message about your brand. Make sure it resonates across all your platforms, all your interactions.
Consistency is key.
And finally, get super clear on who your ideal audience actually is, and then tailor your marketing efforts specifically to reach them where they hang out. Okay, let's move on to our second key. Design that sells, mastering those principles for maximum impact.
Right. The fundamental idea here, and this is broad, it spans everything from visual graphics to like the layout of a physical space, even the technical design of a stage production, is that effective design isn't just about looking pretty. It's about strategically attracting attention, clearly communicating your message, and ultimately creating a specific desired experience for whoever encounters it.
Exactly. The advantages seem pretty straightforward, don't they? Enhanced visual appeal that naturally draws people in.
Sure.
Improved communication ensures your message gets across clearly, without confusion. And user-friendly experiences. Well, they keep people engaged and make them want to come back for more.
And what's the cost of ignoring good design? Well, negative first impressions can be incredibly damaging, right?
Oh, definitely.
Poor design can make you look unprofessional, maybe even untrustworthy, right off the bat. Then there's the issue of confusion and misinterpretation. If your design isn't clear, isn't intuitive,
Yeah, people get frustrated.
and ultimately reduced engagement. If something is just difficult to look at or, hard to use, people are simply less likely to stick around or interact with it. They'll bounce.
So how are successful companies, again, let's say in the US, leveraging this principle? Investing in professional graphic design seems like a big one.
Absolutely.
Think back to Debbie Millman's expertise we mentioned. The polish and the strategic thinking that come with professional design can seriously elevate a brand.
Night and day difference sometimes.
Then there's a strong focus on user experience, UX, and user interface, UI design, especially for anything digital. The catalog mentions freelance web designers. Their entire focus is creating websites that are not just visually appealing, but also really easy and intuitive to use.
Critical for online success.
And let's not forget the importance of thoughtful interior and environmental design for physical spaces, whether it's a retail store creating a welcoming vibe or a theater designing an immersive experience.
Yeah, the whole atmosphere matters. Conversely, where do we see competitors falter? Well, using amateur or just plain outdated design can make a business look unprofessional, out of touch.
Instantly deets them.
Ignoring website usability in today's online world, that's a major barrier. A frustrating website will just drive potential customers away faster than anything.
On.
And creating unpleasant physical spaces that can directly impact customer satisfaction and, your bottom line.
Yeah.
People won't want to be there.
So for you, the listener, think about making visual aesthetics and usability a real priority in everything you create. Don't hesitate to invest in professional design expertise when it can significantly enhance your brand and your message. It's often worth it. And always, always put yourself in the shoes of your audience. Consider their experience with your designs, whether it's a website, a presentation, even the layout of your workspace. All right, let's move into what can sometimes feel like a bit of a daunting area. Navigating the maze, those business and legal essentials for creatives. Our third key.
Yeah, this is a really, really critical area. Understanding the fundamental business and legal stuff relevant to your creative field. It isn't just about avoiding problems, though that's part of it.
Right.
It's about proactively protecting your creative output, your work, managing your finances effectively, and basically building a career that has some legs, some longevity.
The advantages are pretty significant when you think about it. You get protection for your intellectual property, those unique creations that are, your livelihood.
Your assets.
You establish sound financial management, which is just crucial for stability, especially in creative fields. And you significantly reduce your exposure to legal risks, saving yourself potential headaches, stress, and major costs down the line.
And what are the potential downsides of neglecting these essentials? Well, you could face the loss of rights to your own creative work. Imagine that. It's devastating for any creative.
Yeah, unthinkable.
Financial instability can just derail your career aspirations so quickly. And encountering legal liabilities? Well, that can lead to serious financial and professional repercussions. Big trouble.
So how do successful companies or even successful individuals in the U.S. handle this well? Well, they make use of standard contracts and legal forms.
Yeah, the basics.
The catalog points to resources specifically for graphic designers and photographers. Having those solid frameworks in place is absolutely essential for clarity and protection on both sides.
Avoid so many disputes.
They also implement robust pricing and budgeting practices, as detailed in resources mentioned on pricing photography or budgeting for designers. Understanding your value and managing your finances is just key.
Knowing your numbers.
And crucially, they know when to seek legal counsel, recognizing situations where getting expert advice now can prevent significant problems later.
That's wisdom right there. On the other hand, where do we see competitors, or maybe just less experienced creatives, stumble? Operating without clear, written contracts leaves them incredibly vulnerable. Misunderstandings, disputes, it's almost inevitable.
A recipe for disaster.
Underpricing their services.
Yeah.
That's another big one. It not only devalues their own work, but can also create totally unsustainable business models. You just can't make a living.
Yeah, race to the bottom.
And ignoring intellectual property rights. That leaves their valuable creations just open season for being copied or misused without any recourse.
So for you, the listener, this means taking the time, maybe investing the time, to familiarize yourself with the basic business and legal principles most relevant to your specific creative field.
Do the homework.
Make it a standard practice to use well-drafted contracts for all your agreements, even the ones that seem small or casual. Get it in writing. And establish sound financial management practices. Understand your costs, price your work fairly, track your income and expenses effectively. Okay, let's move on to key number 4. Launch your dream, those 7 steps to creative career success.
Right. This section really focuses on the proactive steps you, as an individual, need to take to build a flourishing creative career.
Yeah.
It's not just going to happen, right? It's about having a plan, building your network, continuously developing your skills, and actively, putting yourself and your work out into the world.
The rewards seem clear. Having a well-defined career direction helps you stay focused, make strategic choices, not just drift along.
Purpose.
Increased opportunities naturally arise from actively building your professional connections, talking to people, and ongoing professional growth ensures that your skills and your knowledge remain relevant and, frankly, in demand.
Absolutely vital. But what happens if you don't take these steps? Well, you risk a lack of clear direction, maybe feeling a bit adrift in your career, unsure what to do next.
Yeah, stuck.
You'll likely encounter limited opportunities if you don't actively network and promote your work. Opportunities often come through people,
They really do.
And you face the real danger of professional stagnation if you just become complacent, resting on your laurels, and don't continue to learn and evolve.
So thinking about individuals who are successfully launching their creative careers in the U.S., what are some key strategies we see them using? Developing a strong professional portfolio is absolutely fundamental.
Table stakes, really.
It's your visual resume, right? It showcases your best work. This is emphasized across numerous career guides in the catalog for photographers, designers, all sorts of fields.
Gotta show the goods.
Actively networking is also crucial. Attending industry events, joining relevant professional organizations like AIGA for designers or acting guilds, these connections can lead to invaluable opportunities, collaborations, support.
Opens doors.
And seeking out mentorship and guidance from more experienced professionals that can provide just priceless insights and direction, maybe help you avoid common pitfalls.
Yeah, learn from others. Conversely, where do individuals often struggle when they're starting out? Well, having a weak or maybe even non-existent portfolio just doesn't show potential clients or employers what they're capable of.
Leaves them guessing.
Isolating themselves professionally, not building those vital connections within their industry, they can severely limit their opportunities. It's hard to go it alone.
Very true.
And becoming complacent with their initial skill set, thinking they've learned enough, not continuously learning and adapting, that can lead to their skills becoming outdated pretty quickly in some fields.
Now, let's flip this. If you're looking at this from a business perspective, maybe you're hiring or managing creatives, how can you attract and develop talent within your own organization using these same ideas?
Good question.
Well, you can start by clearly defining the specific skills and experience you're seeking in potential hires. Draw on that same kind of focused thinking you see in the career guides for individuals. Be specific.
Know what you need.
Provide mentorship and ongoing professional development opportunities for your team members. Foster their growth. Help keep their skills sharp and engaged. It benefits everyone.
Invest in your people.
And actively encourage networking and engagement with the broader industry. Attending conferences, workshops. It brings fresh perspectives back into the team and creates new opportunities for everyone involved. All right, let's dive into the core of creative work itself with key number 5. Crafting your magic, those 7 essential skills to elevate your art.
Yeah, this section really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? What it means to be a skilled creative professional.
Yeah.
It's about the fundamental mastery of your chosen discipline, whatever that is. The continuous honing of those specific skills that allow you to produce high quality, impactful, and hopefully truly exceptional work.
The payoffs here are pretty substantial. The enhanced quality of your work will naturally make you stand out. Increased versatility allows you to take on a wider range of projects, tackle new challenges, and having a strong technical foundation ultimately leads to greater artistic expression, the ability to actually execute your creative vision effectively.
Absolutely. And what are the consequences of neglecting this continuous skill development? Well, you'll likely face limited capabilities in what you can actually create. Your toolbox is smaller.
Right.
Inconsistent quality in your output will inevitably undermine your professional reputation over time. And it just becomes significantly more challenging to stand out in a competitive field if your fundamental skills aren't consistently excellent. You get lost in the crowd.
So looking at individuals in the U.S. who are really dedicated to honing their craft, what are some common strategies? Formal education and training is one path, right?
Sure.
Whether that's through university programs, specialized workshops, maybe apprenticeships in fields like design, filmmaking, performing arts, that provides a crucial foundational understanding.
Building the base.
But then there's the continuous learning and dedicated practice. That's essential for maintaining and improving skills over time. Think of musicians constantly practicing scales, or voice actors working on their range and delivery daily.
A daily grind.
And actively seeking out and being receptive to constructive feedback from peers, from mentors, even from audiences that's invaluable for identifying blind spots and areas for growth.
Got to be open to it. What are some common mistakes we see? Well, relying solely on innate talent, thinking I was born with it, without putting in the dedicated work to actually develop and refine those skills. Talent only gets you so far.
Plateaus quickly.
Ignoring new technologies, new techniques, new trends within their field that can lead to their work becoming stagnant or just plain outdated. Things change fast.
Especially now.
And being resistant to feedback, just shutting down criticism that prevents them from seeing areas where they could improve and evolve, stunts their growth.
No, if you're leading a creative business, how can you apply this principle to your team? Well, you can invest in ongoing training and development programs. Actively encourage that culture of continuous learning and skill enhancement.
Foster that environment.
Create an environment that actually encourages experimentation, trying new things, exploring new techniques and approaches without fear of failure.
Give them space to play.
And cultivate a culture where constructive feedback isn't just, tolerated, but actively welcomed and sought out, seen as a valuable tool for everyone's growth. Okay, let's step behind the curtain, so to speak, with key number 6. Behind the scenes revealing 7 technical theater secrets for stunning productions.
Yeah, this section shines a really important light on the absolutely vital role that all the technical elements, lighting, sound, staging, etc., play in creating truly immersive and impactful live experiences. And like you said, this applies way beyond just traditional theater.
Absolutely. Concerts, live events, corporate presentations. The benefits are immediately apparent when it's done well, right? Enhanced audience engagement, those technical elements can really pull the audience into the experience.
Totally changes the feel.
Seamless production flow ensures everything runs smoothly without jarring distractions that break the spell. And powerful creative storytelling using all those technical tools strategically to enhance the narrative, the mood, the emotional impact of whatever's happening.
It supports the core message.
Yeah.
And what are the potential downsides of overlooking these technical aspects? Well, you risk having distracted audiences if technical glitches keep happening, or if the elements are just poorly executed and clunky.
Takes you right out of it.
Disrupted performances can completely break the audience's immersion and just kill the momentum. Everything grinds to a halt. And ultimately, the overall impact of the artistic vision or the core message can be significantly diminished if the technical elements aren't supporting it properly. They need to be up to par.
So what do successful companies or productions in the U.S. do in this realm? Well, they ensure they employ skilled and experienced technical crews.
The right people.
Knowledgeable lighting designers, sound engineers, stage managers, projections specialists, all those roles that are well-defined in resources mentioned in the catalog. You need expertise.
That's fake it.
They also understand the importance of investing in quality professional grade equipment because the tools you use directly impact the quality of the result, right? Reliable gear matters.
Definitely. Avoids mid-show panic.
And they prioritize detailed pre-production planning and, crucially, thorough technical rehearsals tech week in theater to ensure all those complex elements integrate seamlessly before an audience is present.
Work out the kinks beforehand. What are some common mistakes we observe? Understaffing the technical crew or hiring individuals who just lack the necessary experience. That can lead to errors, compromises in quality, safety issues even. Using subpar or malfunctioning equipment. Well, that's just asking for technical difficulties during the most crucial moments. Murphy's Law, right?
That's how peace happens, though.
And insufficient technical rehearsals often result in a disjointed, unprofessional, maybe even chaotic final presentation. It just looks messy.
Now, even if you're not directly involved in traditional theater, how can you apply this principle in your world? Well, pay close attention to the technical aspects of any presentations, meetings, or events you organize. Don't treat it as an afterthought.
Plan for it.
Make sure you have the right equipment, reliable audio-visual setups, stable internet connections for hybrid stuff, good lighting for video calls, and importantly, the skilled people, or at least someone knowledgeable, to manage the technical side effectively.
Test everything.
And just like in theater, plan and rehearse those technical elements beforehand. Do a run-through. Avoid those awkward disruptions and maximize the impact of your message. All right, we've reached our final key, number 7, secure your future's 7 steps to smart financial planning for creatives.
Yes, and this is about the essential practice of managing your personal and maybe your business finances strategically, aiming for long-term security and overall well-being. This is particularly crucial, maybe especially crucial, for those in creative fields where income streams can sometimes be, shall we say, unpredictable.
Yeah, feast or famine sometimes, right? The advantages of getting this right are significant, though. You gain peace of mind through financial security, just knowing you're okay.
Huge stress reducer.
You're better equipped to achieve your long-term personal and professional goals, whatever those might be, and you ensure the protection of your hard-earned assets for yourself and potentially your family.
And the consequences of neglecting financial planning, well, they could be quite serious. You might experience ongoing financial instability and stress, which really impacts your ability to be creative.
Hard to create when you're worried about bills.
You could miss out on valuable investment opportunities that could help grow your wealth over time. And you might create uncertainty and potential hardship for your loved ones if you haven't planned for the future, for the unexpected.
So what are some key strategies employed by financially savvy individuals, creatives included in the U.S., creating and actually sticking to a budget while diligently tracking expenses seems like a foundational step, just knowing where the money goes.
Awareness is the first step.
Saving and investing regularly, even if it's small amounts consistently, for the long term. That's crucial for building wealth over time. Compounding works wonders.
Start early if you can.
And seeking professional advice on important aspects like estate planning, as discussed in resources mentioned in the catalog, that provides vital security and ensures your wishes are followed.
Don't try to DIY everything. What are some common mistakes we see? Well, living paycheck to paycheck without a clear understanding of where their money is actually going, just reacting.
The hamster wheel.
Neglecting to save and invest for their future, maybe thinking they'll do it later, leaving them vulnerable to unexpected expenses or retirement shortfall.
Later often never comes.
And postponing essential estate planning, thinking it's only for the wealthy or the elderly, which can lead to really significant complications and stress for families later on.
Now, if you're running a creative business, how can you apply this principle to the business itself? Well, develop a comprehensive financial plan specifically for your business. include detailed budgeting, cash flow forecasting.
Know the business numbers too.
Reinvest profits strategically back into the business to fuel long-term growth and stability, rather than just taking everything out.
Feed the goose.
And don't hesitate to seek professional financial and legal advice from people who understand business finances. They can help you manage things effectively and protect your business assets.
So there you have it, our deep dive into the Allworth Fall 2011 catalog and what we framed as the 7 keys to creative business brilliance. By truly understanding and, more importantly, implementing these core principles, you're really equipping yourself with a powerful framework, a way to analyze information and make informed strategic decisions within these really dynamic creative industries.
Absolutely. Whether it's about crafting a brand that genuinely resonates, or designing with a clear purpose and impact, navigating that sometimes complex legal and business landscape, strategically building your career path, continuously honing your artistic skills, mastering those crucial technical aspects of production, whatever your production is, or ensuring your long-term financial security. Each one of these 7 keys plays a really vital role in, well, unlocking your full potential.
Which leads to a really important question for you, the listener, to maybe ponder after this. As you reflect on these 7 interconnected keys, which one do you suspect might be the area you're currently neglecting the most in your own creative endeavors or your business?
Ooh, good question.
And then think about what significant results you might see if you were to dedicate some focused attention, some real effort to strengthening that particular area. Because ultimately, true and lasting creative brilliance, it isn't solely about that initial spark of artistic talent, is it?
No, not at all.
It's about cultivating a holistic understanding and a skillful application of all these essential interconnected principles. That's where the real magic and the real success lies.
Welcome to the deep dive. You send us your sources, and we extract the essential knowledge, serving it up in a way that's both insightful and efficient. Think of it as your shortcut to getting seriously well-informed. You've given us a really fascinating piece of material this time, the Allworth Fall 2011 catalog, and we're going to mine it for, those crucial strategies for thriving in the creative industries.
Exactly. And this catalog, well, it's kind of a treasure trove, isn't it?
Yeah.
Packed with resources aimed at equipping artists, designers, creatives of all stripes, really, with the tools they need.
Yeah.
Our goal today is to take all that information and just sort of synthesize it down into practical, actionable steps that you, the listener, can actually use.
And right away, the big theme that just jumped out at us from this catalog is unlock your edge. 7 keys to creative business brilliance.
Catchy title.
Yeah, it really is. It sparks curiosity, promises something valuable, and let's be honest, who doesn't love a good list of 7? So think of this as your guided tour to understanding what really, really matters for creative success based on this source.
Precisely. Within the catalog, we've basically identified 7 core areas that it emphasizes again and again. So get ready, because we're about to take a deep dive into each one, giving you a solid feel for the landscape of creative business.
Okay, so here's the plan, the breakdown of what we're going to explore together. First, unleash your identity, the power of 7 brands and marketing strategies. Second, design that sells, mastering 7 principles for impact.
Crucial.
Third, navigating the maze, those 7 business and legal essentials for creatives, often overlooked.
Definitely.
Fourth, launch your dream, 7 steps to creative career success.
Okay.
Fifth, crafting your magic, 7 skills to elevate your art, the core stuff.
The craft itself.
Sixth, behind the scenes, 7 technical theater secrets for stunning productions, surprisingly relevant beyond theater too.
Oh, absolutely.
And finally, number 7, secure your future, 7 steps to smart financial planning for creatives.
Super important.
All right, let's jump straight into that first key then. Unleashing your identity, the power of your brand, and, how you market it.
Yeah, so at its heart, this section of the catalog really underscores that in the, let's face it, competitive creative world, having a compelling brand and smart marketing,
Right.
well, they aren't just nice to haves.
Right.
They are the bedrock, the foundation you build on to get recognized and connect with the audience you actually want to reach.
Right. Let's think about what that actually does for you, practically speaking. Increased recognition is a big one. The catalog mentions Debbie Millman's work on brand redesigns. Her approach isn't just about, slapping on a new logo. It's way more strategic. It's about shaping how a brand is perceived, making it instantly recognizable. That kind of focus keeps you visible in what's often a really crowded market.
Totally.
Then there's stronger customer loyalty. When your brand tells a story that resonates, people develop trust, right? They become repeat clients or customers.
Yeah, they connect.
And ultimately, it gives you a real competitive edge. Effective marketing ensures that your unique thing, whatever it is, actually gets in front of the people who are going to value it most.
And it's fascinating to consider what happens when that foundation is weak or maybe just missing altogether.
Yeah.
The catalog suggests